Let's do some quick castle reviews of a few old games. Some I grew up with, and others I didn't. This first one I remember playing back when I was a kid. I remember not liking it then, and still not liking it now. Rise of the Robots. This is a game that I remember when I first saw it. The art for it was pretty mind-blowing. I don't know if this was really the first, but this was one of those games that showed off the idea that a lot of its art style was all very three-dimensional and CGI. This game was made around 1994, though already around this time you already had all the Street Fighter II games, and you had Mortal Kombat. I'm pretty sure you probably had Mortal Kombat 2 by then. But by this time around, fighting games were just all around popular. And everybody thought, well, fighting games are in, let's make our own. Some were good, some were awesome, others were bad. God. And going back and playing this, I remember specifically why I never liked this game. I mean, first of all, you know it's bad when in a versus fighting game, when you play, one player, versus a second player, that first player has to play as the main cyborg character, and that you can't choose any of the other following characters. I think there were 5 or... Actually, I think there were only about 5 other robots. And then that was it. That really doesn't make it any fun. And then, on top of that, all the movement is very clunky, and it feels very delayed from the controller. The special moves, I think each robot only had one special move, if I remember correctly, and after replaying this. And, I mean, the music is good, and it still looks fine. Of course, I've seen, and I understand that there were several different ports. That there was a PC port, there was a Mac port, and then, of course, the Super Nintendo port. The obviously major difference in the Super Nintendo port is that a lot of the video cinematics are missing. Some are still in there, but they're very small and very minor. The music is in here, and the music is good. It's very ambient and very interesting. It's done by Mr. Brian May of Queen. So the music is good, but when the game is forgettable and broken, it really doesn't say that much. And what's funny is I was trying to read up on the story for this game up on Wikipedia. Several paragraphs just to get to robots beating the shit out of each other. And it felt so long and convoluted and ridiculous, and, just to get to a point. And upon thinking about it, I thought, you know what? This game could have been maybe so much better. Obviously not, when it was made then. But if this game was remade now, and maybe had a better writer, and, I don't know, maybe a better development team behind it, an idea for this game really could have been really good. Like, obviously set in a Blade Runner setting, with humans and robots trying to coexist, and obviously there were very trying and really bad times, and we're somewhat close to gaining a mutual respect for one another, and then this terrorist organization that is run by mainly robots take this major cybernetic corporation that is kind of responsible for this kind of union, that they take them hostage. And the government decides now's the time to use their new prototype, which is the ultimate combination of humanity and robots. And it's not, just a straight up fighter. Maybe it's a tactics, stealth shooter. Maybe it's something that combines a lot of other elements from other gaming. It could be platforming, it could be tactical, it could be shooting, it could be first person, it could be third person. You could have puzzle solving, you could have hacking, you could have upgrades. I think this could be a good idea if it was done right, but not as a fighter. I understand that the sequel, Rise 2, was actually pretty good. It was on the PlayStation. I never played it, though, because I didn't get a PlayStation until many years later. Yeah, I just remember when I was a child and when we were in school, and usually at the end of the day on Fridays, our teachers started letting us bring in our video game consoles at the time, as long as if the games were not overly violent or anything like that, which meant that we couldn't play Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or anything like that. And a friend of mine brought this in, and I remember him saying, "God, we can totally play this. It's just robots beating each other up." And I remember we played it, and we were like, well, it looks good, but it plays like crap. So, yeah, this game has not stood the test of times. And I've actually seen some Let's Plays of this where they just exploited the idea that, yeah, this game is broken, and the easiest way to win is to just cheat. Because there's this horrible bug in, I don't remember if it was the PC or the Mac version, where basically you get your opponent into a corner and then just jump kick them over and over and over again, and you can win. So, I would, I think, like to check out the sequel, Rise 2, if I could ever find it. I'm pretty sure you can find it somewhere. So yeah, there you go. There's an old retro look back, Rise of the Robots, a game that when it came out then it wasn't good, and it's still not good now.